Lots of discussion about the summer hype these days. What was a one off instance has now become a legitimate investment strategy to many people stocking items from the CS market. And honestly, I'm one of them. Shout out to Fat Metal for this tweet. After seeing it, I realized how strange it must be for someone first entering the space seeing people buying thousands and thousands of dollars in pixels because of some random trend. Maybe it's time to dive into what we have professionally called the summer hype, why it exists, and why it may continue to exist. Summer hype is a trend in the Counter-Strike market where items rise in price exponentially and fall in a similar fashion. While all items will be affected, the focus is mainly put on stickers, operation skins, mid-tier skins like a Bayonet Doppler or Karambit Fade, and cases. One of the stickers infamous for these types of spikes is the Cologne 2014 Dignitas Holo. If you have seen people recommending them recently, it's likely because they are expecting another spike soon. It's tough to disagree though. In the last 3 years, the spike has been pretty consistent in time and percentage. Early signs can be found between spring and early summer, and the peak from July to September. The question is, what caused these spikes in 2019, 2020, and 2021? "2019 was the year of growth for the CS market. Katowice 2014 stickers went absolutely insane.
Hey, that's pretty good.
The Dragon Lore saw its first big pump in price that continued until early 2021. Butterfly knives became the premier knife and changed the community's perspective on investing in knives. The cause? China. In 2019, the Chinese player base increased by 200%. While China to this day doesn't contribute significantly to the total player base, they do contribute significantly to the market. We can see this with the growth of Buff 163, that today is the premier marketplace. There's also many high-profile collectors like QKSS who ended up getting banned. Rip Bozo and rip those stickers. 2020 was the year of COVID. What do you do when bars are closed? Gyms are closed. Work may be moved to online, or you're out of work. School is online. Well, you play games. March 2020 was the peak of the average Counter-Strike player base. At this time, COVID restrictions were already in place for many countries. This was a very large contributing factor. Traditionally, at the end of the operation, we see people grinding out multiple accounts getting as many missions done as they can. After the operation ends, the player base falls and everything is back to normal again. Well, in 2020, COVID kept people inside. No parties, no traveling, no summer job. May 2019, the average players per day were 587,000. May 2020, that number rose to just over 1 million. For 2020 though, June was actually the lowest for average players at 857,000, but that's still a 68% increase from the previous year before COVID. Not only were the effects of COVID seen in the player base, but in the way items were distributed. The Rio Major had to be postponed and eventually cancelled. If you're looking at putting money into CS, you have no choice but to buy up the older items. Berlin 2019 stickers, despite being disliked by the community, saw massive gains resulting in many people selling as it was heavily invested, and many would have bought other items that have lower supply. 2021 I see as an accumulation of what has already been mentioned. Interest in online markets, specifically cryptocurrency, had increased dramatically. It's fair to assume that some people also discovered Counter-Strike investing. China continues to increase their supply of items with continued growth in the Buff 163 website, bringing many Western traders who use it exclusively, and COVID restrictions are still partially in place. So using these previous spikes, how can we set ourselves up with the best performing items that will hopefully repeat in the near future? The summer hype could also be referred to as the sticker hype. Why, you might ask? Well, I hope you didn't ask. It's called the sticker hype because stickers get hyped. 2020 Berlin stickers massively overperformed, and 3 years later are nowhere close to their peak. 2021 RMR stickers way overperformed, and to this day are nowhere near their peak. Now, I don't want to compare Stockholm stickers to these two. Stockholm stickers are attractive and significantly lower in supply. But could current prices be sustained by people buying into what they think will be a 2022 summer hype? We will have to see. Some of the fan favorites for stickers that get pumped during summer consist of the crown foil. High supply, very high demand, has the potential to pop off whenever the market goes nuts. Dignitas Hollow Clone 2014, very similar to its Katowice 2014 counterpart, but 37 times the supply, and due to the circular banner around it, not considered as attractive. Literally any Katowice 2015 hollow. Oil and paper see gains too, but the hollows go straight to the moon, seeing above 200% depending on the sticker and which year. Wondering why everyone is stocking up on Katowice 2015 hollows recently? That's why. Operation skins are also in the mix with very large gains for Broken Fang, Shattered Web, and previous operations that contain the old collections. Cases see an increase as well, but don't worry too much about which specific case. Anything that people open on a regular basis will be thrown into the mix. In 2019, it was mostly sticker focused, resulting in the name sticker hype. Today, it's such an impactful event for the whole market, summer hype is a more accurate designation. Good times don't last forever, and the summer hype is no exception. There's many factors that contribute to the prices rising and falling, but it's essentially a pump and dump. Despite seeing it in the past, I was caught by the recent dump. In 2019 and 2020, after the big pump, prices would settle around 20 to 40% higher than they were the previous year. In 2021, after selling many of my stickers, I looked to repurchase some Broken Fang operation skins. At the time of purchasing, after the hype died down, they were 15% of what they were before the hype. Well, how did it go? I'm still down 30% on my Silk Tiger, and I don't even want to know what the rest are looking like. Going forward, if the summer hype hits again this year, I would wait for stability before reinvesting. Prices don't gain momentum until winter, where people are stuck inside and children get Christmas money to spend on skins. Assuming the time frame remains the same, there is no reason to rush in when prices start to fall. One thing to keep in mind is the liquidity of your items. Summer hype, everyone is buying items. It's very easy to offload some items that you never thought would sell. After the summer hype, it becomes much harder to sell items, and you may have to wait until spring when people start stocking up again, unless you undercut the market. Something with the name summer hype doesn't sound very sophisticated, does it? So how sustainable can this trend be? Valve's update schedule is important. Operations, cases, map pool changes, they can all have an effect on the way the market reacts. So what is Valve's update schedule throughout the year? Well, for operations, they are done in the fall or winter. Shattered Web was December, Broken Fang was November, Riptide is the outlier, being released in September. End dates for these operations? Let's take a quick peek at the price charts. I think I'm starting to see something here. Okay, a little bit further. Now how about some case release dates? Prisma Case, March 2019. Prisma 2, April 2020. Snakebite, May 2021. New cases, people hunting for drops. Drops being sold on the market for a few dollars. People putting money in to open the new case. A case sometime in spring is expected. This clearly brings more money into the market. Is it a significant factor? I would not say it is, but it is another factor to consider. Then we get to majors, which has been quite an interesting journey the last few years due to COVID. 2019, everything was normal. Katowice 2019 early in the year, Berlin 2019 later in the year. 2020, the Rio Major was postponed, then cancelled. First time this has ever happened, and we weren't sure how the market would react. Well, we got our answer with Berlin 2019 stickers being bought up by the hundreds. And for those not interested in Berlin 2019, they bought the older stickers. 2021, again, no major despite RMR 2020 being released. RMR was overinvested like nothing we've ever seen before, but the gold prices and capsule prices were very high. This allowed people to get out and buy other items now that they secured a profit. Similar to what's happening right now with Stockholm 2021 items. Some capsules are up 300%, some stickers even more. The amount of money being thrown into Stockholm 2021 has been very interesting to see. Bottom line, there are some very significant investments being made. 2019 under a regular major schedule is going to be similar to what we see this year. The problem is, there's no China explosion to buy up all the items. Or is there? How about the player base itself? Summer is when people don't have time to play CS, so post-COVID, this trend shouldn't continue. While summer break is a great time for students to start ramping up their spending, sure, the overall player base drops, but the people spending thousands of dollars in a game are just as nerdy as me. Summer break gives students an opportunity to get summer jobs. What does a reasonable person do with the money from a summer job? Obviously they buy pixels. CS is a boomer game. This isn't Fortnite. Many of the people playing CS are in that young adult range, especially those that started in CSGO. These young adults started playing CS when skins were a significant factor to the game's success. April 2015, a poll was run on Reddit with 12,870 anonymous responses. According to a study by Newzoo in 2022, the age group is 19 to 34 with the average being 27. I personally do not believe this for a second. Way too many people lie about their age. If I used my traditional fake age I always used as a kid, Steam would think I'm 32. That inflates the numbers. From playing CS games or watching CS content, it's obvious 27 is not the average age of the average player. I would peg that more around 20. 20-year-olds are going to school. 20-year-olds are working summer jobs. 20-year-olds are getting promotions allowing them to have more extra money. I think it's very possible that COVID restrictions going away could actually positively affect the summer hype. We will just have to see. Have you ever heard of Loot Bear? Pretty common site to rent items, and everyone is allowed to use it. China created their own version called youpin. I find it unnecessary to cover the sites in detail, as Fells already has a well-researched piece on it, but here's the bottom line. It is very easy to rent skins worth thousands of dollars on that site. What you are allowed to purchase is based on your credit score and what the seller has listed the replacement fee as. Sellers can also get some good money for renting their skins. Basically, think of Loot Bear, but better in every way. This site has been operating for some time, but it takes time to build trust and the inventory necessary to get others interested. It seems like we have finally hit that point. Due to how profitable it is to rent out liquid items like gloves and knives, it has been very profitable for Chinese players to buy up a bunch of mid-tier knives, like a vanilla karambit, and then list them on youpin to get that juicy renting money. What we thought was the beginning of an early summer hype was just a spike in demand for Chinese traders renting out skins. But let's talk about it because I consider it important. China is one of the driving forces of the CS market. If Chinese players want to rent skins instead of purchasing them, that hurts the market. On the flip side, the people selling these skins will continue to take the profits from renting to then buy more knives to rent, increasing their revenue. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. But if we do see another summer hype again this year, I can see it being more skin focused than previous years. Not only could we see higher gains from knives, we may see less gains from stickers. If they have a money machine that runs on skins, why would they buy a bunch of old stickers that can't be rented? There are way too many variables, and more information will be available in the next few months. But my prediction is that demand for liquid items will increase in the coming months, and demand for stickers will see a slight decrease. Those are some of the changes and returning factors that will play into the summer hype that many are anticipating. Is it reliable enough to buy in before it's too late? Now here's where things get a little strange because I have a little theory. The Chinese player base that was heavily relied on may see a small transition from stickers, operation skins, and cases. Majors are back, with a new major being scheduled for what would be the beginning of the summer hype, and everyone is expecting it at this point. It has become a large discussion in the community, making it a legitimate investment strategy. And that right there might be the ticket to getting what I would consider an artificial summer hype. You will see many listings grouped together, and after that, a large price gap. The general goal is to get people to buy up enough listings that you break through that barrier. Once you reach that price gap, you're flirting with a parabolic rise. That is exactly what happened with knives and the youpin trading site. So if everyone is expecting the summer hype, the goal is 2 times profit or more. Items so far have barely gone up in price, so that means you're early, and you can still make a massive return in just a few weeks or months. People are still buying Katowice 2015, DreamHack 2014, Cologne 2014, and Stockholm 2021 items, expecting the hype to come. By doing that, these people are eliminating the supply on the market, and they're basically making it become a reality with each item they purchase. Will we receive the same summer hype we have seen the past 3 years? We have arrows pointing both ways. You can't confidently say it will, but I would expect this summer to be profitable, but maybe not to the same degree. Time will tell, but I am in position with some Katowice 2015 holos and Atlanta 2017 holos. Me personally, I am not buying any more until fall or winter.